The ninth common misconception in regards to the out-of-body experience that I want to bring to you here is the fact that most people assume that if they had a lucid separation from the body, a lucid disconnection, they will remain lucid throughout their experience outside the body, and they will remember afterwards. Do you sometimes expect that? Keep an eye on it, because you may judge wrongly your experience if you always expect it will be in this way. Of course, in many cases it is, but not necessarily. You may have a completely conscious separation from the body, but then afterwards, due to different reasons, the level of density of the energies that are around your astral body, your non-physical body at that time, or the place where you go to, or your emotional state, if you see something that you are too happy, if you celebrate too much, you are outside the body, or any of these things, the emotional fluctuation or any of these surprises, or the fact that the energies may be a little denser in your energy body, denser do not mean negative, just mean how much energy is present there. So these different elements may cause that your lucidity reduces after you got out of the body and you were lucid until then. So you want to pay attention to it, because there may be cases in which you remember getting out lucidly, having some experiences or some events you witness, or some things that you do outside the body consciously, but from a moment on, your lucidity, your awareness and control may reduce within the same experience. And an even further wrong misconception, a bigger one, is assuming that if you are lucid when disconnecting and lucid during your out-of-body experience, you will recall the experience upon waking up. That is a big misconception, because many times we do have a fully conscious out-of-body experience, the whole experience, but we do not remember. There are cases in which we are going to remember days later, so you know, oh, I had that experience, but you hadn't remembered before. And there are many other different situations, like sometimes you may be in an out-of-body experience, and there, when you are outside, you remember an experience you had like a month before or whatever, that you had not remembered when you were inside your body until then. So you know that there were real conscious experiences that you didn't remember. Sometimes there are cases, for example, in which we may have an experience that tell us we were lucid in that previous night, for example, or whatever, and we confirm that during the day. Once, for example, I was traveling to meet someone I didn't know. And when I got to the place and I saw the person, I remembered I had spoken with her before in an out-of-body experience that last night, the previous night. And I knew how her house was. I knew how she was going to be dressed. I knew what we were going to talk about. I knew some of the papers and documents she was going to show me, because I had been in contact with her and talked about that before. It's different than a déjà vu, because we may have a déjà vu or a déjà vu in which we see something and we think, I have experienced this before. No, what I'm talking about is a different phenomenon, a different sensation, and it happens in a different way. But this shows that there was a lucid out-of-body experience which I did not remember. And I only came to remember when I arrived in the place and just had a glimpse at the person, and everything came to my mind. You may have your own observations and your own experiences. You may have experiences, for example, in which you were outside the body, projected with a friend, and you remember perfectly the experience in the following day. You are very conscious, but your friend, who was also conscious outside of the body when he or she were with you there in the projection, don't remember anything or just remember fragments. Do not remember the whole thing. So what we are seeing is remembering is one phase. Being lucid outside the body, the previous one is completely separate and different. And having a conscious disconnection from the body, it's another thing. One does not mean the other. But of course, if you have a conscious disconnection, you have greater chances of being conscious and lucid and in control during your experience, which will therefore give you a chance of having something to remember and gives you a chance of remembering. Because if your experience were not lucid, you don't even have anything to remember of. So keep that in mind and do not allow this assumption put you down as if you feel, I don't control this experience and I'm not understanding what sort of experience I'm having. So this is super important here. Hope you have wonderful experiences in this case and remember them all. And we still have another misconception to discuss.